Yisa Ginath has seen lots of German woodland, and yet the student of forest information technology is still surprised at how sparse the vegetation is.
It's more like an empty place where somebody can come in and live. Yeah, it's not a saturated forest, it's very open.
The rainforests back home in Cameroon are very different.
There are a lot of different tree species which, if you don't have a botanist, a good botanist, you can't identify them. Unlike in German forests where maybe you can get just 3 categories or 4 categories of forestry types.
But despite those differences, the trained biologist will be able to apply the knowledge he's acquired in his current master's studies. Yisa has learned how to collect data in a specific area so as to identify trees using GPS coordinates. Here he's using a simple mobile device. But he's also learned to use drones and terrestrial laser scanners in his studies. Yisa's favorite part is the presentation of the data. At the University of Sustainable Development in Eberswalde, he has special software for doing that. For example, he can create maps like this simple example. The white dots on the Google interface are the GPS coordinates, which Yisa has just measured in the forest right next to the university.
Depending on what you want to do, you can always represent this information on maps as well as on different statistical platforms to demonstrate what is happening on our environment, and with this it is easy to come out with decision making.
The user decides which data are of interest. Yisa, for example, has worked as a primate researcher. He managed a project involving chimpanzees in Cameroon. He plans to use his new skills to systematically collect and process data about wild animals in his country.
You can design and manage databases. You can create computer programs that can perform certain tasks. You can also do a lot of data analysis with different statistical methods. And you can also do a lot of modeling ecosystems.
Yisa Ginath has already submitted his master's thesis. Next up, he plans to do a doctorate. He feels ready for that.
Before, I was basically like a data collector. I could only collect data, but I never had the skills on how to process the data. And if you have to be an advanced researcher, you have to know how to collect data and how to process the data in order to prove something.
Yisa hasn't had much time to relax during the 2 years of his master's studies. Ultimately, he hopes to get a good job with the United Nations. And he hopes to see many other highly qualified Africans gaining a voice in important international organizations.